Om Saranam Yo Saranam Punaktu Saraviryam Karavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Prasno Bashyam, and we are studying the fourth chapter and the ninth verse. This chapter is very important for those people who are also studying the uh, Mandukya Upanishad, because this particular chapter deals with the three states of the mind and what lies beyond the three states. The fourth chapter, as you know, Prasno Upanishad is basically an Upanishad which deals with the questions and answers. Questions of the students of Vedanta, divided into 6 chapters, and the Guru Pippalada answers those questions. What are the questions in this chapter given in the first verse of the Upanishad? This chapter mainly focuses on the sleep state, which is the fifth and the sixth mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. And the questions, there are 5 questions. Question number 1: which organs go to sleep? Second question: which organs are awake? Third question: which is the Devata which sees the dream? Who experiences the happiness in sleep state? That is the fourth question. And the last question, the most important question, the student is, all these 3 states, waking, dream, and sleep, are they independently existing, or are they dependent on something else? The last question, the fifth question, is a brilliant question of a student. We are also students of Vedanta. We also must ask these questions in our own mind and try to get an answer. So when the student asks these questions in Prasno Upanishad, when we listen to the commentary, we should try to understand that commentary is an answer to me. I am a seeker of truth. I am a seeker of something which lies beyond this body and mind and my experiences. All of us have got experiences, right, from birth to death. But is there something beyond death? It's a similar question which Nachiketa asked in Kathopanishad. Some people say there is nothing after death. Some people say there is something after death. Oh Lord Yama, you are the controller of death in this world, in the Bhuloka. Can you teach me what lies beyond death? Here the question is, what lies beyond the 3 states? The answer to both the question is the same. In Kathopanishad, they are talking of the same reality In Mandukya Upanishad, they are talking of the same reality, which is Turiyam. And in Prasno Upanishad, they are talking of the same reality, which is Brahman. With this short introduction, let me go to the verse which we started last week. This is where we have to start this week. This is Shankaracharya's Bashyam, the part where he introduces the 9th verse. There are 3 verses left in this chapter 4. The 5th chapter has got 7 verses. The 6th chapter has got 8 verses. So 15 verses plus these 3 verses, 18 verses are balanced questions and answers in Prasno Upanishad. The mantra number 8 dealt with universe, which consists of both Chetana Tattva and Achetana Prapancha. I'm using 2 words. Try to understand this very clearly. Achetana Prapancha means inert world. In the Upanishad, we call that world as name and form. Then there is something called as Chetanas Tattva, which is sentiency. The Achetana Tattvam, the world rests on Chetana Brahman. Chetana Tattvam is called as Brahman, Turiyam, or Bhuma, or Uttama Purusha. Many names are given, but the reality is one. So, in this 8th mantra, which we saw before, it said that the inert world plus all the jivas, the whole population on earth, including animals and birds and everybody, they all rest in Brahman. Brahman is the Adhishtanam. That Adhishtanam in Taittiriya Upanishad was called Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahman. Along with this Shariram and the Prapancha, Shariram means body, Prapancha means the universe, there is something called as Chit Abhasa. Chit Abhasa is a part of the world. It is part of the Vyavaharika Satya. Chit Abhasa means reflection of consciousness in the body as well as the entire universe. Vichara Sagara, a very beautiful advanced text of Vedanta, tries to make the students understand this reflection in 3 different ways. Avachedavada, Abhasavada, Pratibimbavada. These are the 3 ways you can understand the reflected consciousness. The reflection comes only from the original consciousness. The entire world consisting of the Panchabhutas and especially the mind. In the case of human beings and living beings, the reflection can be inferred from the activity of the mind. in the case of the entire world, the existence aspect of this Brahman can be inferred because everything in the world we say is. So this reflection is there in all the bodies, in all the minds. Shankaracharya gives an example of the Surya and its reflection in water. Many places Shankara uses this example. Or we can also use 10 mirrors. Either you can say the water medium or you can say the mirror as a medium. In all this, there is a reflection of the sun. Taittiriya Upanishad describes this nature of reflection in a mantra in the second chapter, sixth section, third verse. So kamayata bahusyam prajayehi satapo tapyata tat srishtva. This Brahman, pure Satchit Ananda Atma enters the world, enlivens the world. This is called in technical language Anupravesha. Anupravesha means that original consciousness enters the universe in the waking state, dream state, sleep states. And the only way we can go back to that consciousness is to tell ourselves, Aham Brahmasmi. When I say this myself, I am getting rid of the ignorance about this Brahman. So Anupravesha is one of the constituents of creation. In Aitareya Upanishad, we find this. In Taittiriya Upanishad, we find this. And many Upanishads. It is taken up in different forms. What is the nature of this Chit Abhasa? In this 9th verse, the main focus of study is the reflected consciousness in the mind. That is the focus of study. Try to understand what we are studying. So the Chit Abhasa always exists with the SukshmaSharira or the Sthula Sharira or the Karana Sharira. All of us, from Tattva Bodha, we know that we all exist in 3 bodies. Now, this Jiva, which is experiencing this world, is called as Chidabhasa. Now let us enter the 9th verse. So Shankaracharya always writes a beautiful introduction to most of the verses before he writes Bhashya. That is the style of Shankaracharya. And when we study like this, we also understand the Upanishad better.
Yesha hi drashtasprashtha, esha hi drashtasprashtha, shrota grata, rasagita manta, bodha karta, Vijnanatma Purushaha, विज्ञानात्मा पुरुषः सपरे अक्षरे आत्मनि सम्प्रतिष्ठते
This is a very, very important mantra of the fourth chapter, and also a very important mantra of the entire Prasno Upanishad, because this mantra and the next mantra, the 9th and the 10th mantra of chapter 4, is the gist of the entire Upanishad. If you understand these two mantras, you've got the gist of the whole Upanishad. So try to understand this. If you don't understand this, if you have doubts about this, please type a question in the chat box. I will try to answer it. This jiva generally is understood in the world as the ego. The ego is a mixture of reflected consciousness together with the mind. Ramana Maharishi says, as soon as you wake up, the first thought which you get is, Aham Asmi. I exist. He says, this Aham Asmi is the ego which is born every time in our waking state. The physical body is born 40 years ago, 50 years ago. But every time when we wake up from our sleep state to the waking state, the reflected consciousness gets born in this body as Aham Asmi, I am. That I am is a reflection of pure Aham. Pure Aham, the pure I, is called as Chit. Aham Asmi is a reflection of that Chit principle, that consciousness principle in this mind. Whenever the mind wakes up, the waker is gone. Yesterday's waker has gone in sleep. A new waker comes up in the mind of an individual. This waker is the one who sees, who feels, who hears, smells, tastes. He is the thinker. He is the knower. He is the doer. He is intelligent. He is dull. He is pretty. This ego, the I, it is invisible, but it is called as a shadow of Chit. Now try to understand this mantra. The the teacher is teaching here that this ego is a temporary phenomenon. It is like a shadow which comes when the sun is there, you're walking on the road, and the shadow comes automatically. So similarly, when the body is born and the mind has started coming into this body, for a certain amount of period of time, this ego gets born again and again in the waking state. It goes to sleep, again it goes to dream, again it goes to waking state. So our whole life is nothing but a life of a shadow ego. Why do we call it a shadow? Because it's coming and going, coming and going. This ego rests somewhere in sleep, or after death, or during Pralaya. Resting ground for the reflected consciousness together with the mind and the sense organs is called, the resting ground is called as Brahman. And that Brahman is indestructible. This is what Pippalada is teaching to the student. Chidabhasa together with the mind alone is the seer. He becomes the seer how? By using the instrument called as the eye. That ego eye can use the ears. Suppose you're focusing in a mobile phone and you're focusing on the talk of another person. You're using your ears in a focused manner. That means I, the ego, which is born in this body, is listening. So it becomes a listener, it becomes a smeller, it becomes a hearer, becomes a thinker. Suppose you are brooding over some topic. Should I go for a PhD or not? Should I attend a class or not? Should I invest in a particular way? Should I buy a house? Should I do something? So this ego is the karta, and it is the same ego which is the bhokta. And it is the same ego which says, I am a baker, I had a dream, and I went to sleep. Normally, when we use a pen and write a letter, write a notes, we say, I am a writer, I am using a pen to write. The correct way to say is, I am the chip. Temporarily, I am using the mind for having some experiences in this life, to understand what is this entire universe, to understand the Veda, to understand the Upanishads. This body, mind, and the experiences is not the final. It is not, it is resting on something. Body, mind is only an instrument. So this Vijnana Atma Purushaha, this knower, this ego, which is called as Chidabhasa, which is called as the Jiva, they all are resting in Brahman. So with this, the fifth question is answered by Pippala. Pare akshare atmani sampratishtate. Pare akshare. In this imperishable Brahman, the jivas, they rest. We think ourselves to be the instrument which is the body or mind, which is an error. Through the study of Prasno Upanishad, the goal of all the seeker is to understand that I am not this ego, I am the resting ground for the ego, which is imperishable. And that is what is called as Turiyam Brahman. In Mandukya language, it is Turiyam. Because that ego doesn't, that resting ground is dependent, is not dependent on anything. Ego is dependent. In the next paragraph 173, Shankaracharya explains this whole mantra in an elaborate way. What does he say? Shankara doesn't give the meaning, but he quotes certain Upanishads to say that Jiva is a Karta, is a Bhokta in the Vyavaharika world. This is the mantra I was quoting earlier. Brahma Vida Apnoti Param, Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is the definition of that chit. And it is this chit which becomes chidabhasa. Normally, we get this word jnanam in the Upanishads. Jnanam can have four meanings according to Shankaracharya. It can refer to the subject, the knower, jnata. It can refer to the instrument, karanam, the mind, the sense organs. In many places, jnanam is used for karanam, eyes, mind, and all that. Then sometimes jnanam is used for as a bhava vipritti. These are all derivations of meanings of jnanam. So jnanam is also sometimes used as a knowing process. The last one for word jnanam, the meaning of word, derivation of jnanam is sometimes it refers to the object known. So all is possible. Jnanam means jnata, it can mean jnanam, it can mean jnana indriyam, or it can mean neyam, the known object. Normally, the jnanam process starts with triputi. Triputi means subject, the chidabhasa is there, then the instrument, the eyes, sense organs, mind is there, and then there is an object outside. If any one of this is absent, you cannot have jnana. In sleep state, all this mind is passive. The sense organs are passive. So in the sleep state, we don't have any jnanam. We have only ajnanam, which is ignorance. So this knower, vijnanam, vijnama, it is used here as the karta who knows, knower. Knower principle is this karta bhokta ego principle. This is a revision portion. So here, what I'll just run through it in case something is we have not covered. The creations, sometimes we say it has come out of Brahman. Sometimes we say it has come out of Maya Shakti. But Maya Shakti is based on Brahman. It is a power of Brahman only. So the entire world which we experience is called as Vyavaharika Satya. So, but where this Maya, the world can also be said as Maya. Whole universe can be told as Maya. Because all this world is nothing but Panchabhutas. But where does this power rest? The whole power rests in one Adhishtanam, which is called as Brahman. What are the organs which go to sleep? Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, and the Antakaranam, which is consists of four. That is why we have 14 organs. Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. And together with this five Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, and Antakaranam, you have the world of objects. The objects are nothing but they all belong to the sense organs. The world of sound, the world of form, color. So when in Vedanta, the whole Jagat, when we say Jagat, this is how you should understand the word. Ahankara, the ego, is the Sharira, Traya, and Atma. That means all the three bodies. together with the reflected consciousness. Okay, so that is what these are all small things. These are all definitions. If you understand, all these are to make us, these are all stepping stones to make us understand the reality which lies beyond the world. The verse number 9 focuses on the Chit Abhasa and its activities. Seer, hearer, and so on. The four meanings I have already discussed with you. This is a process which takes place, the knowledge process which takes place through the mind and the sense organs. Because of the contact of the mind, the sense organs with the external world, the entire process of vrittis come into the mind and then knowledge takes place. All knowledge in the mind is with the help of thoughts. It can be thought of a sound, thought of a smell, thought of touch, thought of color, thought of form. But everything which we experience is a thought. Vedanta is very beautiful in its analysis. Dakshinamurti Stotram Nanachit Kritodharastita Mahadeepa Prabhavaswaram Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana dwara bahispandate. Here you see the word meaning is chakshuradi-karanam. Whenever the sense organs are active, knowledge takes place. When the mind and the sense organs will become active whenever the mind is active. And then what happens? I say, I know the word. This is beautifully explained in the fourth mantra of Dakshinamurti Sloka. Suppose you say that thought doesn't take place. Then what will have? You will have a blank look. Suppose you're focusing on the mobile, speaking to somebody on the mobile, then somebody walks in front of you, you will not, that person will not register. Because your attention is focused on the sound. So this is all the process of Vijnanam, how knowledge takes place in our mind. The two knowledge can take place through the karana, and then I say, I am having the knowledge of perceptions. It can go through the karma indriyas. Suppose I use my hands and legs, the organs of action, then I become a karma. If I'm using the sense organs, the word used is pramata. Pramata means receiver, knowledge, through the jnana indriyas. When I use my karanams, the organs of action, then I become a karta. In all this, there is a knower which is involved. That knower is the reflected consciousness. Which is what I told you right in the morning when I get up, I become a knower of this in this mind. Who is a Purushaha? Purushaha is the consciousness which is pervading the entire body at the individual level. And it is the consciousness or the Sat principle, existence principle, which pervades the entire world. So Purusha can be at the Vyashti level, individual level, or it can be at the Samashti level. The Purusha uses an Upadhi. Upadhi is an instrument. Like SukshmaShariram is the Karana for the Sthula Shariram. And for the Sthula and SukshmaShariram, what is the Karana? Prajna, the causal body. So Upadhi is a medium for Atma to interact with the world. See, happens automatically. We are only trying to analyze what our experience is. Shankaracharya is only trying to analyze our automatically it is happening every day when we get up the whole thing, the jnana indriyas are functioning. But here, Shankaracharya beautifully breaks up this to take us to the chit. And he quotes different mantras. His favorite mantra in most of the Upanishads is Varadanika. Shankaracharya, he knows the Brahmanika Upanishad. Of course, he knows all the Upanishads by heart. He just quotes left, right, and center any Upanishad according to the context. So here he describes this Purusha as the undifferentiated consciousness, which we all experience in our sleep state. Chidabhasa does not pervade the hair and the nails. In our body, the hair, you can cut them because it is achetana. The nails also you can cut them because it is achetana. So Purusha is the Chidabhasa which pervades the entire body. The same Purusha is pervading the entire universe as the sun principle. What is our goal? To say there is only one Atma. That Atma is appearing as the universe, as the Sat existence principle outside the body, and inside the body, it is appearing as the Chit Abhasa in our mind. So, the Chit is the base on which the whole world rests. That is the meaning of this whole section of chapter 4. The chapter 4, the last question on what does this entire Jagat rest on? Like the reflections of the sun, they all go back to the sun, they rest on the sun all the time. Suppose the sun is not there in the night time, there's no reflection of the sun in the waters. You can't see the reflection. In the broad daylight, you can see the reflection of the sun in a mirror or in the waters. So, pratibimba rupena suryaha jalam pravishati. As a reflection, the sun can be experienced in the bucket of water. Suppose you empty the water and throw away there is no reflection. Suppose the jiva quits the body. The pratibimba, the reflected consciousness, the mind and the sense organs, they leave the body. So in Sushupti, what happens is only the sense organs, they go into unmanifest condition or passive nature. But in death, what happens? The subtle body, it leaves the gross body. The gross body is purely made of Panchabhutas. Gross Panchabhutas. But the subtle Panchabhutas, they leave with the reflected consciousness. And ultimately, where does this Chidabhasa merge? This Chidabhasa merges in Chit. In Chandogya Upanishad, this is the mantra which asks the question, where does this entire world, three elements, where does it rest? It rests on. And the jiva, the reflected consciousness which is there in the body also merges in Brahman. This particular mantra, chapter 6, 8 sections, 6th verse, towards the end of the mantra, it tells us what is the process in which the Chidabhasa leaves the body. This person is dying. First of all, what happens? His speech merges into the mind. The person stops talking. His mind merges into the prana. Mind merges into the prana. Prana is still active, the mind is not active now. The second closure. Third step. This prana merges into the fire element in the body. The prana goes away, but the body remains warm for a small period of time. And where does the fire element in the body merge? It merges into Brahman, the supreme deity. The most sacred thing in this universe is this Brahman, in which the universe merges. Very beautiful section of Mandukya Upanishad. If you get a chance, you try and study that. Like the reflected sun in the water merges with the sun, similarly the Chidabhasa merges with the Chit. Jagat Rupa Adhara Rupa. This word is support for reflected consciousness. Achetanam is Adharam for Pratibimba Chaitanya. The reflected consciousness, where does the reflected consciousness rest? Where does the reflected light, sun, where does it rest? In the original sun. So when this world resolves, the Chidabhasa resolves, which is the Karanam for the entire experience of the world. This is another very beautiful mantra which comes in Prasno Upanishad, Maitri Brahmanam. How does this merger happen? Can you give me an example? The Upanishad gives an example. It comes in Mandukya Upanishad also. This example. Suppose you drop a lump of salt in water. What happens to the salt? It merges with water. Similarly, this Chidabhasa, which was functioning in this world as aham, as this ego, where does it merge when it sleeps or during death? It merges with pure consciousness. That is what is the aim of the Upanishads to teach us. The pramanam for Chidabhasa is this mantra. Brahman Upanishad. Chidabhasa rises from the mind complex when it is born, and the Chidabhasa leaves the body mind when the body dies. Chidabhasa gets resolved. Chidabhasa gets resolved in Chit. Pare akshare atmani sampratishtate. This sentence is the most important sentence in this chapter. Pare akshare atmani. In this pure Brahman, the ego, it merges. What is the benefit of knowing this nature of Brahman? That will come in the next mantra. So I have finished 2 volumes of notes. Now I'm going to start the 3rd volume, where the 10th and the 11th mantra of chapter 4 is given. I have already circulated the notes, and also chapter 5, verse number 1 to 7. All the seven, that means the entire fifth chapter is in this volume number 3. Garhya is the main student, try to remember, and Pipala is the teacher. We have 2 more verses to go for this 4th chapter. The next verse is a verse which describes what is this Brahman, what is this nature of Brahman, which everybody would like to know. If the Upanishad teaches us that I am not this body, mind, I am something else. But what is that something else is beautifully described here, like in many other Upanishads. The most important thing is you should know that it is Eka Atma. One Atma, which is the Adhishtanam of this entire Jagat. Whoever knows this truth and claims this truth as his intrinsic nature, he will be free. This is the way, this is what is called as moksha. See, moksha is a word, is a goal. It is a purushartha mentioned in the Upanishads. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. What is this moksha? When you try to understand this moksha is my swarupam, you might be wondering why did I learn so many years? I've been teaching for the last 10 years. There have been students who have been coming almost every session of mine for the last 10 years. There are some students. They may be wondering, how come I don't know this fact that I am this pure Sakshi, I am this pure Brahman, I am this pure consciousness. Because our ignorance is very, very dense. We have taken many births and have been living as a waker, dreamer, sleeper in every birth. Because of some punyam, I'm trying to have come to this Upanishadic study and I'm learning the Upanishad. Thereby, I can drop my ego and say, I am not this waker, dreamer, sleeper, internally, not outside. You don't have to tell anything outside. Internally, you can say, Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, Mai Sarvam Pratishtitam, Mai Sarvam Layam Yati, Tat Brahma, Advayam Aham. I am that pure consciousness in which the whole world has been resting, has been coming out, manifesting. Suppose I know this. What is the phala? That is what is mentioned in the verse number 10. Let's listen to this verse 10. Chanting, very beautiful chanting by Vijaya.
परमेवाक्षरं प्रतिपद्यते परमेवाक्षरं प्रतिपद्यते स यो ह वै तदच्छायम् स यो ह वै तदच्छायम् अशरीरम् अलोहितम् अशरीरम् अलोहितम् शुभ्रम् अक्षरम् वेदयते यस्तु सौम्या वेदयते यस्तु सौम्या स सर्वज्ञ सर्वो भवति स सर्वज्ञ सर्वो भवति तदेष श्लोकः तदेष श्लोकः.
This pure state of consciousness is being described. See, words cannot describe the pure state, but still, through some words, they try to reveal this truth. There are 5 indicators which are given. They're all indicators. Number 1, it is without shadow, without ego. The pure Brahman is without ego. Very, very simple, isn't it? I am in the sleep state, and if I say that beyond the sleep state, I am that pure Atma, my is without ego. Second, without body. Yes, I have already dropped the body in the external world. I am the pure Atma. Without color. Without color means without any attributes. So these are all 3 negative descriptions of a pure state. What are the positive definitions of that? It is pure. It is indestructible, not imperishable. Anything can happen in the world because it is of a lower order of reality. I am that higher order, Paramarthika Satyam. And because it is consciousness on which the entire ego is born, it is a source for all knowledge. And it is a source for the whole Jagat. Knowing this Brahman, one attains moksha. Whoever knows this Brahman becomes one with Brahman. Because that is the nature of Brahman. Mandukya Upanishad says, whoever knows this Brahman, Brahmaiva Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Because there is nothing else except Brahman, in Brahman. And once you know this Brahman, all sorrow in your life will disappear. But you have to claim this all the time. Suppose you say, no, I'm again attached to the body and again attached to my relatives and my world and all that. The money has gone up, the wealth has decreased, and then you're coming into the Vyavaha. That is not Brahman. That is identification in the body. That happens naturally in our waking state. As for the law of karma. So the Paramarthika Satyam you can understand from the Upanishads because the Upanishad is the only Pramanam for the Paramarthika Satyam. Vyavaharika Satyam goes on automatically. But knowing this Paramarthika Satyam Brahma, one becomes immortal. Aksharam Veda Aksharam Pratipadyate. How does by knowing Brahman I become Brahman? Answer the question. Shankaracharya himself raises the question. By knowing an object, I never become an object. Suppose I know a chair. I know some Mount Everest. I don't become Mount Everest. But by Upanishad says, or by knowing Brahman, you become Brahman. Why? Because I am Brahman is a fact. I didn't know this. There was ignorance in my mind. And this is something which is eternally true. But I didn't know. I didn't know this truth about my real nature. I thought I'm the body, but Upanishad says you're not the body. Then you are asking the question, who am I? I am this Satyam Jnanam Brahma. What is the nature of this Brahman? It is eternal. It is immortal. I have superimposed the body and world in my real nature. I've been making mistakes after mistakes. Upanishad says you have taken many, many births before and you have made this ignorance has continued in every birth, according to the Veda. Brahman Upanishad, Shankaracharya quotes again, whoever knows that I am this pure Brahman, he is the one who will attain moksha. Suppose you say, I am something different than Brahman, you will always be in samsara. Don't objectify Brahman, only say, I am the Brahman, claim I am Brahman. Brahman alone knows this Brahman. Awareness alone knows this awareness. Because it is the truth. It is the only thing which is there. So as an ego, I discover I am not the ego, I am the pure consciousness. The old notion is I am Jiva. The new notion is I am the Jagat Karana, consciousness principle. Because Upanishad says consciousness is the highest. I was, I am, I ever will be this pure consciousness. That is what is called as moksha or realization. It is not a mystical event. It is not an experience of something in the future. It is understanding the knowledge of the fact that there is an eternal vastu in this universe. That vastu I am. Upanishad study is only understanding. It is jnana siddhyartham. Pure jnanam only. There is no karma involved. There is no result of karmas. Only understanding takes place in the mind of an individual. Once I say I am Brahman, then what happens? The phalam is he becomes omniscient. It is as though omniscient. You see, it's not that I will start knowing how to make a pizza, or I will not know how to, I would not suddenly know Japanese, Russian, Arabic, and all that. No. We are talking at a paramarthika level, not at the vyavahari. Because we are merging everything into something which exists all. So I am the knower of Brahman means I am all in this universe. Prasno Upanishad, 6th chapter, is being quoted again. And whoever knows this Brahman repeats the same line of teachers. Whatever their teachers have taught in the past, this parampara is continuing because that is the way to know this truth. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the person who knows this Brahman, he seeks the song of Brahman. Ha, ha, who, all that, and then he says, Ahamannam, Ahamannam. I am this entire universe. Because he has understood that the whole Jagat rises from this pure consciousness. This pure consciousness, I have to say, I am that pure consciousness. You see, again and again, I'm emphasizing the fact that you have to tell yourself, I am that pure nature which is revealed to me by the Veda. Make the study of Upanishad as a personal study for knowing your nature. Whoever is listening to these talks, don't take Brahman as something paroksha. It is not distant, which will come in the future. Take it as now, here and now, and take it, I am that pure consciousness. It is my nature which is being described in all these Upanishads. then you will understand the real meaning of Aham Brahma Asmi. Upanishad says, whoever has got this knowledge, he is free from all worldly desires. He is Nitya Muktaha. He is a Mukta Purusha. All his desires for putra, for children, vitta, for wealth, for lokas, I want to enjoy swarga. All these desires, they disappear from his mind because the mind resolves in this pure consciousness. It's a very famous Vedanta Upanishadic statement. Chapter 3, section. I'm putting a lot of Vedanta Upanishad because Shankaracharya quotes it in his Bashyam. So here he talks in this 10th verse of a person who has realized what happens to him. Don't worry. If you realize yourself, it doesn't mean that you will suddenly drop all these things in the world. No. You will continue to be grasta. Mentally, you will not be having a passion for all this. Whatever is there, you will enjoy. Because that is coming to you by prarabdha karma. Body and mind will go as per the law of prarabdha karma. I have some wealth, I have some children, I have some other surrounding, you enjoy it. But at the same time, you are aware of the truth. What is the truth? All these which I'm experiencing is of a lower order of reality, like the dreamer. The dream world is of a lower order of reality compared to the waker. Similarly, for a jnani, he says, Ham Brahmasmi is my ultimate truth. The entire waking state is like it is an experience, that's all. So ultimately, the Maya Shakti rests on this Brahman. Therefore, we say Advaitam is the truth. In sleep, we are Advaitam, right? We are all Advaitam. There is a non-dual nature. I am there. In what form I am there in sleep? Advaitam. Upanishad says that is your real nature. Dvaitam is not your real nature. Dvaitam is in the Jagrat. Dvaitam is in the Swapna. So Maya Shakti appears as the Vyavaharika. In the Vyavaharika. So when you are in Vyavaharika, you repeat the Shloka, Vastani Sarva Bhutani, chapter 9, verse 4. And when you want to get away from the word, you switch your mind, Nachavastani Bhutani. This word is not in me. I am the pure Atma. Maya's definition in Vivek Chudamani comes in the 109th verse of Vivek Chudamani. Very beautiful verse of Maya. What is Maya? What is the world? World is Maya. What is this Maya? You can't define it as existent or you can't define it as non-existent. That is the definition of Maya. Whole dream world is Maya. Can you say dream world exists? Last year's dream world. Where is it today? Yesterday's dream world. Where is it today? It exists, it went away. Similarly, waking state. Every day there is a waking state. Again it comes back. The waking state keeps on changing. So that is what is Maya. Ashariram. It is a word used in this mantra. Shariram is a body. It is an instrument. Brahman or this Atma is without the body. It is free from the body. All the three bodies. Sthula Sharira, SukshmaSharira, Karma Sharira. Okay, so the next is in the slides I said revision portion where the question was what is the adhisthana for the entire creation? The entire creation, adhisthana is this Maya Shakti which rests on Turiya Brahman. If a person knows this Brahman, what happens? He will get rid of sorrow in life. Then there is a few more descriptions. Alohitam Shubhram Aksharam Achayam. Chaya means tamaha, tamoguna. This person who has got this knowledge, he doesn't have any more tamoguna. He is a pure sattvic person. Tamoguna expresses as sleep as this Maya Shakti, ignorance. So, person who has a jnani is free from ignorance, chayam. Then, Shariram and all we have already seen. So, Brahman is with Maya and without Maya. Maya is always with Brahman, but never with, never intrinsic. It is not intrinsic part of Brahman. Brahman can remain all alone by itself. When we say Mastani Sarva Bhutani, what it means is the Vyavaharika Satyam. When we say Nachamastani Bhutani, it means it is the Paramarthika, transcendental nature of that pure consciousness. These are the two verses of Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 4th verse and the 5th verse. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadapyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha nachamastani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhutabhirna cha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanatha. Please by heart these two verses. Remember these two verses again and again because these two verses reveal my nature as pure consciousness. I am in and through the body and the world. The fourth verse, immanent. I am transcendental. I am beyond the body and the mind and the world. That is the fifth mantra. Again and again, Shankaracharya uses these two mantras in all the Upanishads. Aitareya Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. Again and again, he will use these two mantras. That is, these two are his favorite mantras from Bhagavad Gita. Asharira means I have no connection with the Sharira. Sharira is there. All the Sharirams are in Brahman only. But Asharira means have no connection, like the space, has no connection with the objects in the world. Atma is like space. Many Upanishads, also in Bhagavad Gita, they use the space as an example to show us the nature of this pure Atma. Lohita means it is without any shadows. Katha Upanishad mantra, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Avyayam, Tatharasam, Nityam, Pragandham. This verse is very similar to this verse which we are studying. The 10th verse of 4th chapter, Prasno Upanishad, is very similar to Katha Upanishad mantra, 1.3.15. All the time, this Brahman is Saguna and Nirguna. They are two sides of one coin. I can say the whole creation is the Sagunam, the pure consciousness only. So all the time I am experiencing this world, which is this Sagunam Para, which is this pure consciousness only. That consciousness is called Nirgunam when there is no creation in it. When the creation is not there, like in sleep. So ultimate fact I should understand is creation is mithya. My experiences are mithya. Ultimately, Nirgunam Brahma alone is. Shubhram. Shubhram means pure. It also means white in color. Why is it called pure Shubhram? Because it has got no attributes. My body has got attributes. It is something, but it is not the other. But in pure Brahman, there is no attribute. Therefore, it is absolutely pure. Body and mind has got evil attributes, good attributes. So, something which is absolutely free is called this Shubhram. Aksharam means indestructible. Like space. Space cannot be destroyed. Aksharam, Purusham, Satyam. They all mean the same thing. Satya means it is absolute reality. Waking world, dream world is relative reality. The relative reality will come and go, but absolute reality is eternal, it is changeless, and it is Paramarthika Satya. The dream world and the waking world, they borrow existence and consciousness from this Brahman only. So all the reflections, they borrow existence from the original. There is no Vyaharika Satyam without that pure I. Without Aham, the pure consciousness, there is no Vyaharika Satyam. See, in Mandukya Upanishad, Divya Murte Purushaha Sa Brahma Santro. So there is no inside outside in Brahman. Inside outside is there with reference to the body. So these are all the indicative marks for understanding that entity as the self. See, we all, when I tell you that I am that pure consciousness in sleep, all of us, we will know for sure what it is. But for those who are still confused, these indicators are very, very useful. When you say there is no mind, there is no body, there is no attribute, there is no avastha in it, all this will help me to hold on to that changeless nature. One very important thing you should know about this higher Paramarthika Satyam is it is changeless. Because it is changeless, I can hold on to it and say, I become immortal. It is Shiva, Shantam, always peaceful. That peace of Atma is absolute peace. It is not coming and going peace of the mind. Similarly, happiness. Absolute happiness is that Atma. It is the Karanam for the Pancha. Prapancha means the universe. Universe is a product. It is a Karyam. Karyam always, it is an effect. It always has, it borrows existence from the Karya. The dreamer borrows existence from the waker. The waker borrows existence from Brahman. The Brahman is pure existence, consciousness. It is unborn, ajam. This is another attribute of Brahman, even in Mandukya Upanishad. So, by knowing this one entity, the teacher, Angiras, in Mandukya Upanishad, answers the question of Shaunaka, the student. What did Shaunaka ask in Mandukya Upanishad? I'm digressing from Prasno Upanishad, but trying to make that Brahman clear to you by knowing one thing the student in Mandukya Upanishad wanted to know. Tell me, how can I know one and then I can know the whole universe? It is by knowing this pure consciousness, I can know, because the whole world is rising from this and it is resolving into it. Once you know this, you become Sarvajnaha. He knows everything essentially. Superficially, you may not know many things, but essentially, you will know that I am everything. Okay, then there is some debate which comes in this Upanishad, and the question is raised by a Purvapakshi. Brahmanhood is born in time, so it will be lost in time. So this Brahman, see, he's a person who has not understood Vedanta. He is asking a question to Shankaracharya. He says, because of ignorance, he is saying, I am this Jiva, body and complex, and not Brahman. But when he gets this knowledge of Brahman, he was not Brahman, he becomes Brahman. So the question what he is asking is this Brahman coming and going like the knowledge, the Jiva? To which Shankaracharya says, you don't become Brahman, you are always Brahman. And in this Mahavakya mantra of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 1.4.10, this aspect of this inquiry of this of this Purvapakshi is answered. Because here he says, I am Brahman all the time. That is how Vamadeva says Vamadeva. That is how he understood the nature of his pure self, which is this pure consciousness. So it is Brahman who knows himself as Brahman. The Jiva drops his Jivatvam, he drops his non-Brahmatvam, and he owns up the pure nature. He becomes the knower of. The next mantra is the last mantra, this chapter. Chapter 4, the last mantra. I'll see if we can try and finish it today. Let me see how long is this.
Vijñānātmā saha devaischa sarvaihi Vijñānātmā saha devaischa sarvaihi Prāṇābhūtāni sampratishṭhanti yatra Prāṇābhūtāni sampratishṭhanti yatra Tadaksharam Vedayate yastu saumya Tadaksharam Vedayate yastu saumya Sasarvajña sarvameva vivesheti Sasarvajña sarvameva vivesheti.
So the last verse, again it is a Phalashruti. Whoever knows this imperishable Brahman, he knows the resting ground for all the devatas, all the pranis, all the Panchabhutas. Because he knows this as a resting ground, he becomes omniscient. Omniscient means he knows the entire universe. As pure consciousness, because everything rests in this. This is a Rig mantra quotation given in the Upanishad, Prasno Upanishad, where Vijnanatma means knower. So the knower is the one who knows that this ego is a Chidavasa. It is a mixture of Chit, and that Jiva who identifies with this ego, he drops that ego and he says, Aham Brahma. So, it is an indirect lesson to all of us that I am now identified with my mind. That mind is the ego. That mind has to say to itself, I am not the mind, but I am the pure consciousness. So Adhisthana Devatas also get this knowledge and they become free. The world is divided as Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, and Adibhutika Prapancha. Adhyatmika means 17 organs, the 5 that we have studied before. Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, and Antara. Then the Adhisthana Devatas for all these characters. And then last is Adibhuta. See, such a beautiful way Upanishads have got such lovely ideas to describe the universe. You can describe the universe as three states of consciousness, waking, dream, sleep. You can describe the universe as Adhatmika, Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika. You can describe the universe as Panchakoshas. But all of them, they rest sapratishtati. They all rest in this pure Sharam Brahman. Whoever who knows this Sarva Adhishtanam Brahman, he gets the Aporoksha Jnana. Means what? He gets the self-knowledge that I am the Adhishtanam, I am not the miserable Jiva who has been identified with the body-mind so far. But with the knowledge of this Prasno Upanishad, chapter 4, I have got an idea about my own nature. Pradhanik Upanishad 4.4.12 says, I am this, I am this. I am this Atma. I am the one who enters this creation and I alone appear as this creation. Yasyaiva suranam sadatmakam asatkalpartan bhasate sakshat tattvamasi veda vachasa. Dakshinamurti Stotram, 3rd mantra. Sakshat. Again, the Dakshinamurti says, Sakshat means what? I am that eternal awareness principle. The Guru reveals to the students the easiness of everything. Consciousness is the aspect of Atma which is located in the mind. The easiness is there throughout the universe. It is not said, I was Brahman. It says, I am Brahman. I am Brahman means all the time I am Brahman. Okay? So this is the revision portion. I don't want to take that up. It is the Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam is mentioned as the Phala. So 7th to 11th mantra are the important portions of Prasno Upanishad chapter 4, where the merger of Jiva with Paramatma is mentioned. And very brilliant question of Gargya Sauradaini, and about the three states. And the 10th mantra is the description of that pure nature of others. Similar to the Mandukya Upanishad mantra. With this, I close today's session on the 4th chapter of Prasno Bashyam. And next week, we are going to start the 5th chapter, which consists of 7 verses. And it is a question as is raised on Omkara. This is the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Similar nature of knowledge. The 8th chapter is what we get in the 5th chapter of Prasno Bashyam. What happens? Suppose you meditate on Omkara throughout your life, what will happen to you? That is the question raised by the student. So to which we will take up next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. But if anybody wants to ask a question, you can raise your hand and you can ask. Yeah, Nandu, go ahead.
Hariom, sir.
Yeah, sir.
About the in mantra 9, whatever it is mentioned, drashta, grata, shrota.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it something like similar what it is mentioned in like Upanishad, like chakshu, chakshus, shrotras, the shrota, something like that?
Correct. Very similar. Correct.
And this is like of upari of jiva, right? And this and the ultimate truth is I am not jiva, but I am the ultimate Brahman.
Yes, correct. I am not Jiva, I am Paramatma, pure Turiya. So the ultimate thing is the Jiva says, when you say Jiva, what does it mean? It means my mind. My mind understands that I am not the mind, I am the pure consciousness. Mind is available in the waking, dream, and the sleep state. In the sleep state, it is ajnana, ignorance. Mind is available in the waking as an ego, the doer, that the pramata, the karta, who. So this mind, together with that consciousness, is called as jiva. So this jiva tries to learn to drop its nature of the mind together with the body, and it owns up its intrinsic nature as Atma. Between Jivatma and Paramatma, what is common? Atma is common. Jiva is a lower attribute. It is Anagnya, Alpashaktiman. So Jiva have very limited powers. What about Paramatma? Paramatma has got superior powers. He creates a whole universe. The whole universe is his. I can only say my body is mine, but the Paramatma can say the whole universe belongs to him. So the difference between us is only superficial attribute. The intrinsic nature is Atma. The consciousness is what I should own up. And that consciousness is owned by whom? It is owned by that pure Brahman only. Nobody else can own that. That is why in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says, ultimately, who knows Brahman? Brahman alone knows that he is Brahman. So I drop my Jivatvam. My Jivatvam is dependent on other factors like Prarabdha karma, some past karma is there and the body is seen by me. And the body undergoes certain conditions of in the environment, in the family level, at different levels, body undergoes. But I don't connect my condition of the body and mind with my Swarupa. Swarupa means Satchidananda. Swarupa means in and through this Jiva and Paramatma experiences. Knowing this nature alone, I will be free. Good question. Very good question, Nandu. Have you understood now?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And because of Brahman, we cannot give that like upadhis because Brahman doesn't do anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
See, it doesn't have any attributes. You can say a driver, a teacher, a dancer. These are all attributes of a jiva. Brahman is pure by nature. Why it is like that? That is its nature. You see, for example, in sleep, all of us we go back to that Brahman. Now, this we know only from Upanishads, only from Veda we can know this. And we can also have Anubhava. Our Anubhava is what? I am without anything in my sleep state. And beyond that sleep state of the mind is my real nature. It is my pure nature. I am wrongly identifying this body as me. That is a correction which the Upanishad wants us to make in our mind. That is the benefit of study of this Upanishad. Again and again, bringing back this idea, I am not the body mind. Body mind is a part of Vyavaharika Satyam. Upanishad is revealing to me Paramarthika Satyam, the absolute nature. Vyavahara means related. Waking, dream, sleep, waking, dream, sleep. That is a relative experience. This will go on as per the law of karma. I have marriage, I have children, that will go on. But in and through these experiences, I also realize I am the Atma. Knowing this Atma gives me peace of mind, it gives me happiness, and it gives me security. There is no security in the world. There is no peace in the world. The world will always be full of some agitation, some confusion. Somebody will get angry, and may have to face all that. But having this knowledge all the time makes me free from taking myself as a jiva, as this ego. Understanding this ego takes a very, very long time. It can happen in meditation. Because you are meditating, the ego will get in between and it will try to push you into the world. That is what is called as ego. During the quiet moments of meditation, all of us can realize what is this ego. And this ego continues throughout our life in waking state. The difference between waking and dream is nothing but open eyes. All my sense organs are open, that is waking. Dream is the same like waking only. Only thing is my sense organs are closed. It appears as though dream and waking are very, very different because of the operation of sense organs. Good. So Nandu, I'm clear, right?
Sekhaji.
Yeah. Wow,
The word Soumya, what does it mean?
Soumya.
Soumya.
Soumya means dear.
Dear.
Soumya means, oh dear one. Oh Soumya. You see, suppose you call your son or your daughter, you can call them as Soumya. Means, oh dear one.
Dear one.
Oh dear one. Don't think that you are this body. You are that pure nature of Paramatma only. In all our bodies, Paramatma is there. Paramatma means what? The creator. The creator is there in my body. As what? As this consciousness, as the Sakshi. See, for example, if I want to know what is the nature of Paramatma in my body, best way is to close your eyes and say that Paramatma is there as the Sakshi of all my mind. Somebody knows the mind, isn't it? In your body, there is something which knows the mind. So when you close your mind and you close your eyes and look inward, there is a witness. That witness is not a karta. That witness is not a bhokta. So witness is a changeless nature. Always there. That Paramatma that is the nature of Paramatma. He is always there in the world. So when I close my eyes, I can realize that pure consciousness. That is what the Upanishad says. Upanishad says, Yoveda nihitam guhaya. In your mind, inside your mind is this Paramatma. Always remember this Paramatma and say, I don't have to worry anything. He will take care. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Anybody else has a question?
Sigurji, I have.
Yeah, Manikanda.
We say that our mind is agitated. At that time, when we try to bring this knowledge that I am the pure consciousness and I am free from this, I am not the karta and bhokta and all.
Yeah.
But at that time, uh, uh, it's very difficult for us to, the mind is still agitated and trying to get into the action like the desire or uh, worry or whatever the emotion. This emotion control is sometimes blocking stay in this knowledge, even though the knowledge is giving me the.
So what you are saying is, Manikanda, what you are saying is, there are obstacles to my knowledge. These obstacles come because of the mind or the sense organs acting in the world. The mind may be agitated, mind may be angry, mind is full of passions, a lot of desires are there. It is not allowing me to own this heart. This is a common obstacle for all of us. For every one of us, what you're saying is true. That I may not be able to hold on to this knowledge all the time. But slowly you have to train your mind and say that all this, whatever I'm experiencing, is of a lower order of reality. They will come, they will go. It is not permanent. What is permanent is the sakshi. It is always witnessing. So, it is a practice. So, everybody has these obstacles because this is what is called as Shama and Dhamma. See, Shamada Shakya Sampatti, in that the two main things is control of the sense organ, control of the mind. Due to lack of control only, we are jivas. And only because we are jivas, we are existing in the world today. So don't worry about these things. You just say, ultimately what you have to say, the jiva is going through its motions of prarabdha karma. And what is the knowledge you get? I'm not the jiva, I'm the sakshi, I'm the pure consciousness. Again and again, try to bring this teaching whenever it is possible. And slowly you will see that you can do it more frequently by practice. So don't get annoyed whenever things happen wrongly in the world. Many obstacles will come, and many are uncontrollable situations in life. Uncontrollable. It just pops up. That is what is called as mind. See, nobody knows why this happens. And every day it happens to the lives of billions of people. What should be my goal? I am ready to face anything in life. Let anything come. Face it. I have the Atma. I have the strength. I have the knowledge of the Veda. Always you tell yourself, I have the knowledge of the Veda, which is the greatest strength any individual can have. These are small tips, but anyway, these are all things which you will slowly see. This knowledge happens when you listen in the class, but to sink into the subconscious mind, it takes a few. Sometimes it may take a few decades. Keep on listening, purify your mind, hold on to the teaching. That's all. That is the only thing which is in our control. Keep studying, keep listening, and a day will come, you will find that everything which the Upanishad is saying is true. Everything, 100 out of 100. Initially, you may say, what is this? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. But suddenly you will find, I'm able to understand everything. And that is because your mind has become more pure. Thank you, Manikanda. Yeah, Shanta, go ahead.
Namaste, Shekharji.
Yeah.
My question is regarding, it is just a follow on when you were responding to Manikandan. Yeah, you mentioned that the jiva may pose obstacles of, trying to take your mind away from there. But if you are constantly meditation, there is a glimpse of yourself that is the subconscious you can see or know. So my question is, those who are, say, only meditating and not actually, going through these studies of Bhagavad Gita or whatsoever, would they be able to realize Turiya?
To come to the study of Upanishadic literature, you will never get moksha, you will never get the truth of life. That is what the Upanishads are saying. All the teachers, they always say this meditation, that means karma yoga, upasana yoga, you may be a brilliant upasaka, without the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. That will not give you moksha. It is a stepping stone for making your mind pure. See, with a clear mind, a person who meditates, for example, he's got a very pure intellect. In that pure intellect, when the knowledge is given, you'll understand super fast. That person who has never meditated in life, that is the only difference. All of us, we have to keep the what fact we must is remember is jnanat eva kaivalya. Knowledge of Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam through the Mahavakyam, which we did today, knowledge alone will free me from rebirth. This is teaching of the Upanishads.
So when you are in meditation and you may be asking the question, who am I, or where is this mind, and people how the body functions, how the mind functions, and you try to get into the depth of understanding the mind and how the signals and everything. But yet you will not reach that knowledge
Knowledge
through
of the
meditation.
Veda,
It's only with
if
knowledge.
you have not studied the Veda.
Mm.
It is the Vedic mantra which you bring in meditation and say, I remember the Vedic mantra, Tattvamasi, Aham Dhamma Asmi, Prajnanam Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. That, when it comes into your mind, it will click for you and it will make you free. Unless you bring that thought in your mind and take the help of the scriptural mantra, you will always be in Dvaita. Dvaitam, Upasana means Dvaita. And when you say that in meditation, I say I am that. If you are using Upanishadic mantras meaning, then you are different. Upasana with the help of mantras is totally different than pure meditation or just meditation without the mantra. That is why in every meditation session, I bring in some
Okay, that's
mantra.
so I can only say that people who only meditate, they will only purify their mind and ultimately reach to this knowledge
Yes.
to get to the next step of moksha.
You see, for sure, those people who are meditating, one day they will definitely come to Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. Definitely, it is mentioned in it is mentioned in the scriptures that the pure mind can never keep quiet. Pure mind will always struggle to find some answer somewhere. Who am I? This pure mind will push you into Upanishads.
But my
Yeah,
other question
and
is,
there you get the
from my own experience.
yeah.
So from my own experience, like, okay, you have to do, karma yoga or upasana yoga to actually reach this knowledge. But there are people, I mean, see, for myself, I can speak, is I was not a big meditator before I came to Bhagavad Gita. It was just that few, couple of years of here and there meditation. It reached a point where I asked myself, who am I? And that question kept on going in my mind, and I reached Bhagavad Gita. So for me, I don't know. I did not do a lot of upasana before this. So would it be that people like me will take longer to reach the point of understanding Upanishad, or
See, we are forgetting this. We are only looking at our experiences in life. So you may have to conclude that all my upasana and whatever karma yoga I have to do, it's already done in previous lives. Now I have come to knowledge directly. What led me, I don't know. What led me to listen to the scriptures? You see, unless until you are ready, you will not come to listen to these scriptures. So you are the way you should resolve is okay. Maybe in my previous birth I have done all that finished. Now, for example, a brahmachari suddenly he takes up sannyasa. So what will he think? Why am I taking sannyasa and why am to this knowledge? Because he has already finished all his grihastha, karma yoga,
okay.
he's finished in previous births. So that is the way you tell yourself.
Okay, that makes a bit more. I might take longer to click this knowledge. Yeah.
Correct. It's a way.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Anybody else has a question?
Thank you.
Okay. There are no other questions. We'll stop today. We'll continue next week. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Hari Om.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Namaste, Shakarji. Namaste.
Yeah, namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.